I'm David Perry for Casey Kasem. Now we're up to the first top 40 hit for Hootie And The Blowfish, a band whose original purpose was to go to parties and meet girls.
'Cause I got a hand for you. Oh, I wanna run away.
The group was born at the University of South Carolina at Columbia, a school where a lot of the students are famous for playing as hard as they study. According to lead singer Darius Rucker, the group first formed for no purpose other than to have fun. As a campus band, they got to play at lots of parties where Darius says they made a bit of money, drank a few beers, and met a lot of girls. They never figured they'd go any further than that. In fact, they fully expected to break up after the members graduated. But they were too good for that, and as their fame grew, the idea that they could actually make a living as a band began to enter their minds. The band began playing clubs around the Columbia area. Then they started playing clubs at other college towns. And before they knew it, Hootie And The Blowfish was a real band with a real following. Then they started putting out records on small independent labels. And after one of their club dates, they were approached by a talent scout from Atlantic Records, who made them an offer they just couldn't refuse. These days, to their amazement, the band that began just as a way of going to parties to meet girls has their first top 40 hit. Moving up 3 notches to number 23 on Casey's Top 40, here's Hootie And The Blowfish with Hold My Hand.
The Shadoe with you on our weekly hit cruise. A couple of weeks ago here in L.A. at the very arty Deco Wiltern Theater, this band's frontman sang an a cappella version of Barry Manilow's Even Now and publicly professed that he is, in truth, a Barry fan. The crowd went crazy, and they all sang Copacabana. Not really. Anyway, here he is, Manilow Man Darius Rucker with Hootie And The Blowfish at number 18 and Hold My Hand.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem. Well, now we're up to the song Time, and it's by a hot group from South Carolina that has spent a lot of time on our survey. They're one of only 2 acts that have been in the top 40 every single week so far this year. The first of these acts is a vocal trio from Atlanta who scored with 4 top 40 hits this year. Starting the very first week of 1995, they've been on the survey with Creep, Red Light Special, Waterfalls, and their current top 10, Diggin' on You. Of course, they're the vocal trio TLC. Now, the other group to spend every single week on our survey so far this year is a 4-man band from Columbia, South Carolina. They began the year with Hold My Hand, and they followed it with 2 consecutive number 1s, Let Her Cry and Only Wanna Be With You. But that's not all. Their album, Cracked Rear View, has been one of the biggest sellers of the year, with more than 11 million copies sold to date. And they recently won the MTV Video Award for Best New Band. This week, they continue their non-stop run on the survey with the song that climbs a notch to number 19 on Casey's Top 40. This is Time by Hootie And The Blowfish.
Time. Casey's Top 40.
Hi, this is Casey Kasem. One of the hottest acts of the 90s has one of the biggest chart records of the 90s. Hootie And The Blowfish debuted on Casey's Top 40 back in October of 1994. And they've been on our survey every single week since. That's 129 consecutive weeks, longer than any other act in the 90s. Now can Hootie And The Blowfish make it 130 weeks and complete 2.5 years on the chart? We'll find out if we count down all the biggest hits and check out the latest music news on Casey's Top 40 from Westwood One Entertainment. This week back in 1996, one of the top hits in the USA was Time. It's by a band whose lead singer spent a decade singing in church choirs, building his voice for rock and roll. The inspirational quality of Darius Rucker's voice isn't coincidental. Darius began singing in church at age 12. By the time he was in college, he was singing in the world-famous Carolina Alive Choir at the University of South Carolina. He says, quote, I was always wondering how to carry my gospel voice to rock music, and I discovered it was easy. What they have in common is passion. I felt passion singing gospel, and I feel it singing rock. This week, back in 1996, Hootie and the Blowfish had one of the top hits in the USA. Here's Time.
Time.